Welcome back to the channel, guys. I wish we were starting off with some good news. Daiki on round one had a catastrophic engine failure. And it's definitely not the news I was hoping for. Obviously not the news he was hoping for. And as you can see, the engine is broken down behind us, and what we found is absolutely heartbreaking. If you guys know Daiki's story and journey with this car, it's been nothing but headaches and problem after problem after problem. And while the very last thing that needed to be done on this car to kind of change all of the old stuff on it was the wiring harness, it appears that that was our downfall in the end. Now, we did order a new wiring harness, and we were just waiting for it to arrive. There was some delays and all that type of stuff, so our goal was to use the current harness. We fixed it up the best we could until the next round, where we would be putting the brand new harness on, which arrived pretty much days before Daiki left for his first round. And I wish we did an all-nighter and switched it out in hindsight. Hindsight, it's a beautiful drug, isn't it? You know, thinking of what if we actually did something when it's already too late. But anyways, I guess let's look at the damage. All we can do is laugh about it now. Daiki's already cried about it. We've all kind of cried about it.
It was actually at round one, no?
It was at round one. Right after I didn't qualify, Daiki called me, and when he called me, I could tell by his voice something was wrong. And well, yeah, everything from there kind of fell apart. But all you have to see is, if you come around this side, May, actually is the best way to get a look at it.
I've never seen anything like this.
Every piston is damaged. Every single piston is damaged. The sleeves are damaged. Everything's just melted and destroyed in that corner. And this is where normally detonation occurs on SRs, so we're no stranger to seeing this happen on a tired engine, not a brand new engine. And we'll start to break down everything, and it'll make a lot of sense, but it's most likely a wiring issue. It's not a tuning issue, it's not a driving issue, it's not a fueling issue. Everything looked good in the logs, except for what we couldn't see. But yeah, this is bad. Every single piston is destroyed, the same spot over and over again. The head gasket destroyed in every location here, actually melted away entirely in some places. This is absolutely gnar. I have never seen an SR destroy itself like this. And mind you, I am so thankful that Daiki didn't use this anymore. He didn't run the engine anymore after we figured out it got to something was up. Because if he did, this most definitely would have ended in a rod out the side of the block and everything being junk. So the fact that he stopped driving when he had a lot of pressure from sponsors and everyone to still keep driving is amazing. Come have a look at the head, which is now completely useless. Once again, I have never seen this before. First time for everything, but every single section here on the exhaust side melted and destroyed and just absolutely effed. Yeah, no words. No words at all. I've just never seen that. Technically, the head could be repairable. You could spend a bunch of time TIG welding all of that up, resurfacing it, reshaping the combustion chamber, but like this is so damaged. Look at it around the valve here. The amount of time you'd have to spend redoing all of that, even around the seat, it's destroyed. This would need press-in seats. It's not worth spending that money on a head that's a $600 head. You know, we can still get these SR heads fairly cheap. Our first hint that something wasn't right, I'm gonna say, is at the dyno. Now, I wasn't there to really hear it or anything like that, but the graph looked a little strange to me. And we now believe that it's because of the issue that was happening with the wiring harness. But the thing is it wasn't consistent. So head's junk. We'll take all the good parts off it and transfer it to a new head. The block is savable. We still have good crank, good bearings, good rods, pistons junk, sleeves junk. It's not just the top of the sleeve that's damaged. The sleeves have scraping and scratches all the way down the bore from this getting all melted and caught in there and scraping away. And yeah, the block is still good though. We'll just get the re-sleeves done, new sleeves put in, and it'll be okay. So there is kind of, I guess, a silver lining to it is we stopped when we did. There's some damage, but we'll be able to save most of this with just some new pistons, new sleeves, and a new head. Still not what you want when round 1 is, how close is the next round 2, sorry? 3 weeks?
Yeah, 3 weeks.
3 weeks. We thought we were past the sleepless nights. We're not giving up on the SR. We're obviously still going to be sorting this out, and we do have a game plan, but we really want to break down why this has happened again. And when I say again, this is actually the same similar issue that happened on his previous engine. Number 2 and 3 were the most damaged, but the same issue. The really weird detonation thing, but no sign in the logs of detonation. No sign of too much timing. In fact, the timing is quite conservative. Maybe a little bit too much fuel in the top end, but that's not going to cause this. This is very weird. This form of detonation is happening because of hot spots and things getting very, very hot there. The head gasket blowing and coolant coming in and all this other stuff. So what is causing the detonation, right? What is causing the ignition to happen at the wrong time? I'm going to show you. So what I want you guys to do is listen very carefully. I'm going to power up the ignition of the car and I'm going to jiggle the harness around. And I want you to just tell me what you hear in the comment section.
Oh.
As you just heard, the coil packs are triggering even though the engine is not in the car and it's not running. So what I'm believing is happening is that the coils from vibration, that's just me jiggling the harness around, right? So something's loose or something's shorting out somewhere, and the wiring inside the car, as you know, is just absolute spaghetti. So here's what I'm thinking was going on. Developed a misfire / coils going off at the wrong time. That's generally not enough to kill an engine, right? Like we've all kind of, you know the whole coil pack dildo situation. This may be the only time that a coil pack could actually dildo an engine, but this is where we go into problem number 2 with the wiring harness. This is the knock sensor and the wiring was broken. And this was broken inside of the heat sleeving that was on here. So we had no way of knowing that this wasn't even hooked up. It's really frustrating because if we did know that it was knocking, we would have been able to save the engine. Probably what's happened is the coils were going off at random intervals or whatever in the high RPMs when the SR was vibrating the most, which is kind of what we saw on the dyno graph on one of the pulls, where it just looked pissed off in the top end. Like, I get it, if there's cams or flow issues at the top end, it would kind of just like slowly dip off, but for it to have a big dip and then come back up is just very weird. And I think that's probably what was going on. Random ignition, detonation created the hotspots. Once the hotspots were already there, doesn't even matter if the coils were doing the weird thing, because then the hotspot's there, which then means as the fuel's coming in, it's not igniting from the coil, the spark plug anymore, it's igniting from the hotspot on the piston or the head. And then that's when you're gonna start getting your detonation. And then with the detonating sensor not even working, the link couldn't even see something was wrong and everything just looked right. And yeah, it did sound a little weird. I'm not gonna lie, like from the clip that Daiki sent me of him drifting it, it sounded not happy. It didn't sound like it wanted to free rev like an SR normally would. It kind of looked, it sounded like it was struggling. And now we know why. So back to the drawing board a little bit, but this time we definitely know the wiring harness was shot. Everything's getting changed, and not a single bit of wiring that goes to this engine is going to be the same. Not even the fuel system is going to be the same. I'm ripping anything and everything out that was previously done by whoever on this car, and we're starting from scratch. I'm not dealing with it again. I don't want to see another engine fail again. So we have all the stuff we need to get it done. We're going to do it. I don't really know if that's the true reason why this engine failed. That's just everything I've been able to discover. I've sent the logs off to Link USA, and Jason had a good look through the logs and pretty much said that, yeah, I mean, everything looks kind of good, just a bit too much fuel and stuff in the top end, which is fine. So there's nothing that indicated that there was even detonation happening because this wasn't working, this wiring was broken. I'm just annoyed. I'm just really annoyed because the one thing I wanted to do the most on this car was change the wiring harness, and we just couldn't. We didn't have the time from when it arrived, and it's no one's fault. It was just we ran out of time for when we could get the new harness. So, yeah. We're both pretty sad. But the plan is rebuilding this. We're not gonna have obviously the block work and everything done in time for the next round. So Daiki's going to be using one of Okachan's spare 2.1 liter engines for the next round with the new wiring harness and everything like that. That with a smaller rear housing so he can spill it because it's a 2.1. And he will obviously be getting this back in time for round 3, and then we will be all A-okay. That aside though, we need to finish disassembling this block and get a good look at all the rods, pistons, and crank and all that type of stuff and the bearings and just make sure everything's all good.
I'm not trying to make things more sad, but he was 17th place out of 16 that could go qualifying.
Yeah, but even if you qualified, you couldn't have competed.
Can I say no more yakisoba bye bye?
No more what?
No more yakisoba.
No more yakisoba? Yeah. We can, when we pull all the yakisoba out, you can light it on fire if you want. Yakisoba in Japan is the fried noodle with all the sauce. So we say in English spaghetti wiring. In Japan, they say yakisoba wiring when it's really messy. So yeah, we'll get it right. We got a solution. Okachan came and saved the day, didn't he, Daiki?
ありがとうございます。本当にすみません。岡村さんありがとうございます。
Alright, let's get this thing done. If you can really see all the oil and combustion that was leaking in here, that's oil from the combustion chamber getting pushed into the coolant. It's crazy. Dry that out. This is why I put ATCs on the ground. Feels good, Daiki. Wow, the bearings look incredible. Good engine. So far, so good. Obviously, crank matches that, which is awesome. Okay, bearing looks good on the bottom too. Yeah.
It's not the worst one. The worst one's the next one.
Definitely not the worst one, but definitely getting close to ringland territory here. Hadn't hit the rings yet on this one, but that's enough to still do damage to the bore. Wow. That's impressive, but rods look great, so that's what we want. All right, Daiki, put them on, same line. So see how there's a little pin there, and pin there, and then that plate, line everything up. Yep, perfect. Thread those in, and then this is number 1, so we should mark, okay? And number 4's out. Same thing, just minimal here, damage here. Rings look good. Yeah. Right, strap it together. Mark that, number 4. 4番ね. Damn. Oh, wow. Look how much it ate away at that. It's so wild, like it bubbled out the aluminum.
すげえなこれ.
Yeah, that's wild. 2, I think, is going to be wild. I won't be surprised if the ringland's cracked.
Is a ring showing on that?
Rings look good on this. Nope. Rings a little damaged. The top ring is a little damaged in one spot. Not bad, not like super bad, but yeah. All right, Daiki, that's number 3. All right. Ooh. This bearing decided to stay in. Not great, but not the end of the world. Looks amazing.
Brand new.
Yeah, bearings look brand new. That's good. That's what we want to see. That's really what we want to see. Because it means that we don't have to spend extra money
On
and we
fixing
can
this.
save this bottom end.
Yes.
New pistons, new sleeves, ready to rip. Beautiful.
I just realized, whenever you're working on a SR that has blown or had some issues, you're always wearing this shirt. Resurrecting the dead.
Well, we are resurrecting the dead, aren't we? SRs, if you like, SRs are a love-hate relationship. I love talking about this with Okachan because Okachan even calls them a glass engine, and for good reason.
No. His words are problematic woman. That's what he says. SRs are.
All right, here we go. Number 2. Dun 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 dun. Oh. Yeah. She's effed. Wow. Okay, look. The ring is so damaged that it's jammed. So it then it destroyed and pushed in the rings here, and these are all crushed and stuck in the ringland.
So it can't even like rotate.
No, the rings aren't rotating at all. They're all stuck. Look, I can't. The second ring's okay. This top ring won't move at all. It's locked in here. Look, won't budge at all. But on the back here, it's still moving. Here, jarred in, completely like melted in there. Look at that. Once again, brand new bearings, guys. That's what we want to see. Whoa!
What?
Nothing, I was just hoping Daiki would have a funny reaction.
Daiki isn't Yugo, Sam.
We have completed stripping out the SR 2.2 litre block. We saw all the damage on the pistons, and now we get a really good look at the bores. And yeah, this one is shot. Now you probably could bore these out another half a mil, like 87.5 or 88, and then it would be technically like a 2.3 litre, I guess. But there's really no point. Changing sleeves in these is really not that expensive. It's actually fairly affordable. So it's better to just stick to the 87 mil bore, and these will all get pulled out and replaced. Some of these will be okay. They'll clean up really nice at the top. Number 2 is definitely going to need to be changed. It's got scratches all through the bore down the bottom, which will just damage stuff if we put anything else in there. It's probably completely out of shape now too. But 1, 3, and 4 don't seem to have any real scoring marks. 3 maybe just slightly, but we'll let the machine shop decide on that. But if you get in here, mate, and we get the flashlight, Daiki, you'll really get a good idea of what we're talking about, because it's pretty gnarly. So as you can see, number 2 is just shot. But for the most part, the rest of the block's good. The crank's good, the rods are good. Just needs a new set of pistons and be on our way. I think probably like the cost of fixing all of this, take out the machining work, it's probably gonna be like another $1,000 or so to get the block machined with new sleeves. And then probably pistons will be like 600, and then assembling it, that'll be free because I'll do it for him. But for the most part, pretty gonna like, and the head's gonna be like $600 to $1,000 depending on what we can get. But yeah, overall should be fairly cheap to save. Still though, it's not something you really want anything to happen. We're going to be checking everything and going over anything and everything that could have caused it. I've sent logs and tune files to everyone that I know that knows SRs and just seeing if they see anything weird, but everything just keeps coming back as most likely it's the wiring issue that we've already discovered. So I'm curious if any of you guys have experience with this. Please let us know in the comment section. We're always, open to criticism as well as just learning new things. But yeah, I'm devastated, but also glad that we found this issue, because it would have sucked if this was just like a non-stop concurring issue that we couldn't figure out. And I think we've kind of gotten to the bottom of it, but we'll see. How you feeling, Daiki? All right? At least it happens at the start of the season, so we still can get everything working for the rest of it. But
I think he's just really excited to get rid of the yakisoba.
Yeah, that'll be a big move. You've probably seen all of this in the background, and I guess this is a little early, but we've got to talk about it because you've probably seen it and wondering what's going on. But we have teamed up with Vibrant Performance, and I am so stoked. I'm beyond excited. Before I even spoke to Vibrant at SEMA, I was buying their stuff from Summit Racing and having it shipped to me here in Japan internationally. I'm sure you can think of just how expensive that was, but it's the best stuff. Like, ever since I saw it on my very first trip out to the US, and I saw it on Adam's cars and a few other people's cars, I was like, damn, this stuff looks amazing. And when I've used it and welded with it compared to other stuff that I've gotten here in Japan, it's incredible. Like, out of the box, I don't even have to clean it. It's so clean as it is that you can pretty much just straight away weld it. Well, you probably should clean it, but anyways, depends how lazy you are. This is a big deal too. All of these pre-bent stainless steel bends, they're so hard to get in Japan. You can only generally buy straight stainless steel piping, and that's why you see so many pie cuts here and a lot of pie cut work in general and lobstering or whatever you want to call it, because no one really sells bends. So the fact that we got all of those, plus all of these lengths, plus all of these aluminum things, and like, dude, even these, right? Even a flex joint, they don't really exist here. They don't. So being able to have all this on hand is incredible. The other thing is pie cut kits. I don't have to send Daiki on the drop saw for like hours of him making pie cuts. I can just grab one of these boxes and it's a set of 6 pies. So that's also, I mean, it's cheating, but it's also, yeah, if we don't have the bend, we've got the pie cuts and we can make it work. So we can still do some lobstering. But Vibrant Performance, honestly, the best stuff. Not only did we get everything we've just shown you, but this box here is full of things like V-bands. Look at these. These are going to be for the comp car for the 4-inch exhaust. These reducers or exducers, whatever you want to call them, they step up from 3-inch to 4-inch, so you can have, you can encourage velocity from the back of the turbo, which is going to create a Venturi effect and pull the exhaust gases out of it even faster and the heat out of the engine faster. Stuff like that, that just, you know, people don't even think about. And then stuff like this. All right, let me show you this stuff. I am geeking out about these. These are O2 bungs, and this is a saddle one. Right, it's made from stainless, and it just sits perfectly with the contour of the pipe on there, and you just beat around it. You're not welding where the threads are, you're welding around this. That's gonna make it really, really good and easy. But then also, we got these O2 bungs too, which are like a heat sink version of them. So this keeps a lot of the heat away from them, especially if, depending on how much space you have in the engine bay and where you put your wideband sensor, if it's closer to the turbo, it needs to dissipate heat faster. So these are great for that. And it's also got the contour in there too to suit the pipe. So there's tons of these little like innovative things that Vibrant has done that I just don't see anyone else doing, but also just the quality of the material is incredible. So with that, there you go. I'm excited to announce we're working with Vibrant all the way here in Japan. It's a huge deal. I'm super excited, and thank you so much, Vibrant. I cannot wait to start fabbing all this stuff up. I'm geeking out right now. I can't wait to start welding. Also, it means that we can get this done a lot faster, and it means that we can just pretty much fab up anything we want whenever we want, because we've got everything here, and we don't have to wait for weeks for it to come from Summit. By no means am I trying to flex on anyone, because these really aren't that expensive shoes, but I got myself a new pair of Nikes while I was up at Ebisu. Oh wow, there's coolant all over that. But check this out. These are my new favorite ones. I don't have to spend a bunch of time lacing them up. They just unzip, zip up, and Velcro on. I don't know if it's just because I'm getting old now or I'm a boomer or what, but this is awesome and it still looks like it's a lace-up shoe, so stoked. Love the new Nikes. Let's see how long these last. These probably will be all black in no time though. All of that aside though, we did get a little bit of bad news in this video, but as you guys know what we do here on the channel, we're definitely gonna make sure Daiki is gonna be sorted by the end of this, and we will have everything fixed on that car, and hopefully this never happens again, unless we gotta, you know, turn it into kill mode and turn the boost up so he wins in the top 4 or something crazy like that. That's when it's okay to blow a motor. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you like this kind of stuff, go check out this video here where we diagnose the previous engine maybe, or another engine that blew up. But anyways, thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.